The last thing that we just talked about and what we just took a test over was the War of 1812. So before we jump into our next topic, in order to kind of transition, what we're going to do is we're going to read this super quick little reading, and we're going to find out a little bit just to remind ourselves what the War of 1812 was about. Because the War of 1812 was kind of weird. There wasn't a whole lot that changed afterwards. There was no change in hands of like land or money or anything like that. So what I want you guys to do, I've got a few tickets. Is there anybody who could raise their hand and read the quote on the board? Antoine, will you read the quote for us?
In 1800, the British were harassing U.S. ships in Richmond Pier with U.S. strength. By 1812, many U.S. citizens were tired of the British taking them into their country. They felt that the U.S. government needed to show the British that it deserved to stay. In June of 1812, the U.S. government finally declared war on Great Britain.
Perfect. So like I said, this is kind of like a review. We've learned a little bit about the War of 1812. What I want you guys to do in your groups or by your own, in your little table groups, what you guys are going to do is underline portions of what the quote says the War of 1812 was about. Okay? Then you can write it in the box below. So this quote that we just read, that Antoine read for us, is also found right here. I want you guys to underline, square, circle, do whatever you want. Tell me a few reasons what the War of 1812 was about. And then in the box, write down those reasons. There's a few reasons it was. Okay, I'll give you guys about a minute or two to do that, and then we'll share as a class. So underline those reasons, circle them, square them, whatever you need to do, and then write them in the box. What was the War of 1812 partially about? About 20 more seconds, guys. Five more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, guys, I want you guys to share a few of the causes of the war in here with me. I'll underline them on the board. So who wants to raise their hand and tell me a few of like what the war was about? Donald, what was the war about? Awesome. U.S. citizens were tired of British taking advantage of their country. And Donald, can you tell us how did Britain take advantage of us during the War of 1812? Give us an example. Okay, they kind of took control of our trade. Awesome. Ashton, got another cause?
They said they were tired, so they wanted to show British that they deserve respect.
Awesome. So they felt like we deserve respect. So based on what you read on their action, were we getting respect from Britain? Not so much, right? So we wanted it. It was one of the reasons we wanted to go to war. Elijah, what's another one? Awesome, perfect. And Elijah, can you remind us? I'll give you another ticket if you can remind us. What was it called when British soldiers took our soldiers and forced them to serve in the military? Starts with an I. If you don't remember, it's okay. I'll pass it to someone else. All right, let's pass it to John. Impressment. Great job. So because soldiers were impressed or forced to serve in the military, that made us pretty mad, right? We don't want our soldiers to be forced to serve for someone else. That's not going to make us very happy. So these are a few of the reasons, just kind of as a review of the War of 1812. Next, we're going to move on with an example. So Douglas, we go to the next slide, please. We're going to have an example. So before we get too far into the Monroe Doctrine, that's kind of our next topic, we're going to kind of compare it to an example. Okay, so we're going to pretend that we're in the cafeteria. We're just hanging out in the cafeteria, we're just doing our thing, we're eating lunch, doing just normal day, whatever. You guys are 8th graders, right? You guys are the oldest in the school, which is kind of awesome. But what you see a 6th grader and a 7th grader, they get into a fight in the cafeteria, okay? You can tell me if it's a food fight, you can tell me if it was like a fist fight, you determine what kind of fight it was. But what happened is that the 6th 6th grader and a 7th grader in a fight in the cafeteria. Okay? What I want you guys to tell me, should you as an 8th grader, because you guys are older than them, hopefully wiser than them, should you as an 8th grader step in and break up the fight? Why or why not? So before you guys tell me, because we're going to share in a minute, you guys will see on your paper, it's got pros or advantages. This is where you're going to list the good things that might come out from you coming in and breaking the fight. So list as many pros as you can. Then on this side, list as many cons as you can. As many bad things that would happen from you stepping in and trying to break up this fight between the 6th and 7th graders. Remember, you guys are 8th graders, you're older and you're wiser. So you tell me, pros of breaking up the fight, cons of breaking up the fight. You guys can talk at your tables. You guys want to like brainstorm. Come up with as many as you can. I'll give you guys a few minutes. Go ahead and start. List as many as you can.
Oh, so this is a good fight.
What is a good thing that would happen when you're breaking up the fight? This is a bad thing. If you go and you break up the fight, what bad things might happen? All right, looks like a few are still writing. If you are still writing, go ahead and keep going. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to share. I promise somehow we're going to apply this, what we're learning about the Monroe Doctrine, so it will apply. But for now, we're just focusing on this situation. So remember, you guys are 8th graders. You guys are smarter, bigger, cooler maybe than 6th graders, 7th graders. So tell me, first we're going to focus on the pros. So raise your hand if you want to share a pro, a good thing that would come from you breaking up this fight. So raise your hand if you want to share. I've got tickets for people who want to share. Pros, good things that would come from you breaking up this fight. Cecilia?
I can stop them from like getting more hurt.
Okay, awesome. So you could stop them from getting hurt more badly. Yeah, you guys? You what? Might make them calm down. Okay, awesome. You might be able to calm them down. Stop them from going any further. Here you go. Stop the violence. Okay, awesome. So hopefully they would just stop if you interfere. Ashton?
If I make them stop fighting, I'm going to be recognized by the teachers.
Oh, okay. All right, so then teachers and stuff might be like, good job, Ashton. You'll get
See,
some
I didn't have no
recognition.
pros for this because I just feel like right when I get out,
Right.
and it's over. It's
Probably a
over.
few more cons. All right, so we've got a few pros. A lot of you guys are saying a good thing is that they would stop fighting. Hopefully no one would get hurt if you stop it early enough. So those are some pros. Now I want to hear a few cons, like a few bad things, which I think a lot of you guys thought there were maybe a few more cons. What are some bad things that might happen if you step in and try to break this fight? You could end up in trouble. Awesome. So even though you weren't really part of the fight, they still might think you were part of the fight? Yep.
Someone tried to do the fight too.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Elijah. Did you put your hand up, Blake? No.
Yes.
Any other thoughts? Disadvantages, Ashton?
Building on the heads, if I do get hit, you're going to get into the fight, it's get you in more trouble.
Okay, awesome. Douglas, what's your thought?
Oh, maybe get suspended or something. 'Cause
You might
they
get
be-
suspended.
Yeah, they might think you were in the fight too.
Awesome. So even though you weren't part of it, they might think you were?
Yeah.
Awesome. Any last minute thoughts, Amanda?
I have never fight before.
They're going to blame it on you. Awesome.
I'm a good
Elijah?
kid. I don't do that stuff. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
fight.
You gotta eat your food.
I gotta eat
You gotta eat your food. If you don't get to eat your food, might do that. All right, so remember the situation. I promise we'll make it apply to history in just a minute, but not quite yet. So you go to our next one, please, Douglas. Next slide. So now you guys are gonna flip your paper over. Flip it over to the back. We have a few guided notes. Won't take too long. But remember, keep this scenario in mind because I promise this idea is going to apply to history in just a minute. Go to the next one, please. Okay, this is James Monroe. He's our lovely 5th president of the United States.
Go back.
This is James Monroe. He's the 5th President of the United States. He was a Democratic Republican. Remember, that sounds kind of weird because we know that the two political parties we have, we can raise our hand to remind me, two political parties we have today, Democrat and Republican. Good job. So it sounds weird that it's like Democratic Republican because it sounds like they're like fused together. But that was the name of his political party. He was most known for the Monroe Doctrine. Makes sense. It's named after his last name, right? So Monroe is his last name. Doctrine basically just means like his ideas, what he like taught, what he believed, his ideas. Okay? So obviously it makes sense that it's named after his last name, the Monroe Doctrine. We don't know what the Monroe Doctrine is quite yet, but we'll learn in just a second. Okay, so James Monroe, our 5th president. He's known for the Monroe Doctrine, which makes sense. It's named after his last name. Monroe Doctrine. Cool. Anybody need more time? Perfect. We go to our next one, Douglas? All right, so now we're going to figure out what the Monroe Doctrine is. So one of the main ideas of the Monroe Doctrine was that the Western Hemisphere, or the part of the world that we live in, was no longer open for European colonization. So remember what we learned a few weeks ago? We were a colonist. Okay, so England, what they did is they sent people over to America to colonize, to try to make their country bigger, try to expand, make them like a bigger, more wealthy country. Who can remind me the 3 G's of European exploration? What were the 3 G's?
Can I see them?
European exploration, Gabby? Good job. God, glory, and gold. So those are the reasons why they wanted to expand. Europe was all about expanding. Europe's right over here. They wanted to make their territory bigger. They wanted to be richer. They wanted God, glory, and gold. Remember, so they wanted to convert people to God, Christianity. They wanted glory. They wanted to become famous. And they also wanted gold. So that's why they would go to different parts of the world to try to colonize. One of the places they came, obviously, you know, is America. That's why we had the 13 colonies when England came and colonized us, okay? So one part of the Monroe Doctrine is that our part of the world, basically like United States, Canada, South America, this part of the world, we did not want Europe to come over here anymore. We were like, hey, we know you guys came over here and colonized us in the first place, but now that we're our own country, we're independent, we fought in our own war, the War of 1812, we defended ourselves really well. So this is our territory, and we don't want you guys messing with it. We don't want you guys coming over here anymore and colonizing us. Okay, so basically we're saying Europe, you guys stay over here in the Eastern Hemisphere, and we're going to stay over here in the Western Hemisphere. Okay, any questions about that?
No.
Okay, so that's one of the main ideas of the Monroe Doctrine. There's a few others that we're going to get to. We go to our next one, please, Douglas. All right, so the next idea is that the United States would consider any interference in our hemisphere, the Western Hemisphere, to be a threat to our security. Okay, we've been talking a lot about political cartoons, and we're going to analyze a few political cartoons later today. But you guys can see this guy right here. This is James Monroe. What does this look like he's got right here?
A flashlight.
This is like a
cannon.
cannon.
Yeah.
I mean, a intense flashlight. This is a cannon. So James Monroe is sitting on top of this cannon. Right here it says Monroe Doctrine. I know it's hard to see without the lights on. But the Monroe Doctrine, this guy's wearing a crown. So what do you think this guy represents? Shout it out. Like a king, right? Somebody from Europe, like a king from Europe. So this represents that the fact if Europe came over to our hemisphere, we would consider it a threat and we would go to war with them. Okay, so we were serious. We were like, you guys need to stay on your side. We're going to stay on our side. You guys do your thing, do whatever you want with the colonies you already have. Do your thing, we don't care. But if you come over here to the US, Canada, South America, like this part of the world, we're going to be pretty mad, right? We're going to get our massive flashlight out and we're going to blow you up. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay, guys. So for our last part of this activity, just to make sure we understand kind of the Monroe Doctrine, we're going to go back to a few political cartoons. This one should look familiar. This is one we learned about with the War of 1812. I'm going to teach you guys how to use this kind of format to analyze political cartoons. Because we already know what this one's about, so we're going to use this for our example. Then what you guys are going to do is using this format, you're going to analyze 3 other political cartoons about the Monroe Doctrine. Don't open these quite yet, but when you do, you will see that there are various political cartoons in your different folders. They're all about the Monroe Doctrine, and I want you guys to analyze them based on the knowledge that we now have of the Monroe Doctrine. Okay? So, using the political cartoons that we already know, we're kind of familiar with this one, we're going to do an example, and then you guys are going to analyze the 3 political cartoons at your desk. Okay? So you guys will see on the left-hand side of your paper, it's got this little chart. What you're going to do is you're going to start analyzing on this side, and then after you've analyzed like words, people, symbols, actions, then you can tell me the main idea. Okay? So, for example, what words do you guys see on this political cartoon? If you can raise your hand, tell me what words do you guys see on this political cartoon? Anything important? Ashton?
Grabbing.
Right. We see oh grab.
Can you write this one?
No, don't worry about this one. Don't write this down, guys. This one's just an example. So don't write this down. So oh grabby, which what does that mean again before? Embargo, which is backwards. Some of the political cartoons you guys will see only have like a few words. Some of them have like a ton of words. You do not need to write all of the words right here. Just kind of the main important words that you guys see. Okay? So the ones that stick out to you put on there. In this one, we've got, it says symbols. So in the category that says symbols, we're going to write anything we see that might be symbolic in here. What on this cartoon do we know is symbolic? Like, the turtle. And what is the turtle symbolic of? What's he symbolic of? The embargo. Awesome. So we've got the turtle, who represents the embargo. My notes aren't super good, guys, sorry, because I'm trying to make it big so you can see it. So we know that the turtle is symbolic of the embargo. What else in this political cartoon is symbolic? Cecilia? The ship. And what does the ship represent?
England.
Perfect. So you got one?
The guy.
The guy holding the barrel or this guy right here?
No, the holding the the mirror.
Perfect. And what is he representative of?
America.
I got another one.
What?
Emily, what's your list The paper one. Hold on. Perfect. All right, maybe what's talking 3? What's talking 2? Thank you, guys. All right, I promise I just have a few more directions, and then you guys can talk, get working on your activity with each other. I just need your attention for a few more minutes. Okay, next what we're going to do, we have people. This one has 2 people in it, right? We can describe them right here. Let's describe this guy, because he's kind of the most important. What's he doing?
Trading.
The guy is kind of trying to trade. So we're going to say a man trying to trade. In your political cartoons, there might be like a lot of people, there might be a few people. Once again, you don't need to describe everything in your political cartoon, but just like the main idea. Our last category are actions. There's one well, there's a few important actions that are going on. But if we can raise our hand and tell me what important actions or like movements are you seeing in this cartoon? Dave. Awesome. This one's super important, right? And why is the turtle biting the bum?
They stopping them from trading.
Good job, guys. Turtle biting the man's behind. Right? And we learned, since we already know about this political cartoon, we learned that that is symbolic of the embargo hurting the United States. Right? It also stopped us from trading with England. So what you guys are going to do next, after you filled out your little chart over here, you're going to take this information, put it into a sentence for a main idea. So the main idea for this one that you might say, maybe you would say the main idea is that the embargo stopped the United States from trading with England, and it ultimately hurt the United States more than it hurt you. Okay, that might be a good main idea. All you need for your main idea is one complete sentence. Okay, so in this chart, I'm looking for just like bullet points, just lists of what you see. On the right for your main idea, I'm looking for like complete sentences of the main idea of the political cartoon. How this is going to work, guys, there's group 1 right here, 2 and 3. It's the same in the back, so group 1, 2, and 3. You guys can move at your own pace. It does not matter to me which ones you do. There's sections for 4 of them. We're only going to do 3. One of the political cartoons I didn't really like, so I kind of threw it out. So what you guys are going to do is fill 3 of them out. You can do it at your own pace. If you start here, that's fine, start here. But then you can get up, go to 3 whenever you're done. I'm not going to like make you guys move at a certain time. However, be aware that we've got about 35 minutes in class. This assignment we are going to turn in at the end of class, so make sure that your name is on the top. Are there any questions, guys? All right, in a second, when I get back to the computer, I'll put the timer up for 35 minutes just so you're aware of how much time you are. Don't rush through the assignment, just so you're aware of time. This you're going to turn in before we go. Okay, I'll go put a timer on. If you have questions, let me know. I'll be around.